It's a beautiful day to do a podcast, and you're listening to 3D Podcast. My name is James.
It was snowing like an hour ago, dude.
They don't have to know that.
But come on.
So the
Not
sun
snowing
is
here.
Oh, piss off, Kyle.
out. So I'm here with Kevin and Kyle, both by video chat, and you're listening to us, but we can see each other. So why don't you fellas say hello?
All right, cool. I guess it's me. Kyle pointed at me. Hey, I'm here. We got to figure out who's going first.
Kyle, you're next.
Hey, it's me. Just Toots Peeps.
All right. Well, hey, it's me, and we're going to do an episode today where we build the soundtrack for the first college parties that we ever hosted. And I have a feeling we're going to learn some interesting facts about each other in this conversation.
Probably.
But before we get started, gentlemen, I actually had come across a couple of interesting facts, just little music trivia bits that I decided I wanted to bring to the table today. I'm just curious if either of you would be able to get these right. I only got 2 questions, and they're not easy. And there's no real rhyme or reason between them either. I just found them interesting. So the first one was in 2003, Paramount Pictures purchased the rights to use a pop song that they wanted to turn into a film. And I'm going to give you 4 choices. I want to see if either of you can guess the correct one. So 2003, Paramount Pictures, they were going to make a movie, and it never happened. Was it for Jennifer Lopez's Jenny from the Block? Was it Ashley Simpson's Autobiography, Avril Lavigne's Skater Boy, or Britney Spears' Lucky?
I got to go Skater Boy.
Kyle?
Ah, shit. That's what I was going to say, too.
Yes.
Oh, we got double winner on this
Hey.
one.
Yeah. All right.
Always pick
Yeah,
C.
it was
Always pick
Skater
C.
Boy.
Yeah, always pick C. That's yeah.
Well, Skater Boy, that's intriguing to me because I feel like of all 4 of them, that probably had the least interesting story.
Yeah, probably.
because,
But like, when did Lucky by Britney Spears come out?
that would have been 99, but I think
It just
most
felt like
of these,
in 2003, like Avril Lavigne was like the most popular of those 4 in 2003.
well, Skater Boy I think was 2001.
Yeah.
So Skater
yeah,
Boy
right.
was either 1 or 2, and then I think Ashley Simpson is the only one that was close to that because I believe Jenny from the Block was also 2001. But it just the times that was when like people were playing Tony Hawk still and everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, for
Tech
sure.
decks
And
were popular.
Yeah.
Tech decks were a thing, and like that movie does sound very bad. Like,
Yeah, and
it's
if
like
you
you're just
did-
sitting there for probably not even 90 minutes, like 80 minutes. You're probably sitting there and you're like, when's the song gonna play? When's it
Yeah.
gonna play? When's it gonna happen? Is it
Well,
the beginning? Is it the end? Like,
I
is
think
it
it
like
should
multiple
happen
times?
multiple times. I think it should happen. But I think that if it was, say, Jenny from the Block, that would have been interesting just because of her upbringing. I think that Ashley Simpson's Autobiography probably would have been interesting too because they had a messed up upbringing as well. And then Lucky was actually written to be about Britney Spears and her struggle with fame anyway.
That does have a feeling of like a Disney Channel movie.
Yeah, well, like Skater
Wouldn't
Boy
Ashley
just seems
Simpson
like
have been like 12 years old when they were trying to do an autobiography of her?
in 2003, God, she must have been like 19 at that point.
Really?
Must have been. Yeah, must have been.
Even
I don't
still,
know.
an autobiography at age 19 is...
Oh, I'm not saying that you should do an autobiography,
Yeah,
but I
no,
do think that Skater Boy probably would have been a generic movie.
But I think
It's-
everything coming out
yeah.
at that time was those awful generic movies.
Yeah. Right. So
Megan whips
anyways,
out movies I've never even heard of all the time, and they're all the same movie. They're all the exact same movie, I swear.
So the second one, this is a simpler question. I got a real name for you, and I want you to give me who you think the artist is with this name. So the name is William Bailey, and is William Bailey the real name for Willie Nelson, Vanilla Ice, Will.i.am, or Axl Rose?
Will.i.am
Bailey.
feels too easy, but I'm gonna go Will.i.am.
Kyle.
Axl Rose.
Kyle got it
Shit!
again.
Damn it!
So
Shit!
That's actually
When in doubt, go
impressive to
D.
me.
Wait. That's okay.
All right, so back to the main part of the show. We're doing soundtrack for the first college parties that we ever hosted. And before we go into the actual list, I what I noticed when I looked at the list, I was like, I think you can tell who the good boy is. It wasn't a matter of like Kevin, you were like, oh, what are you trying to say? My parties are lame? No, that's not what I'm saying. I saw the list and I was like, this is a much more like family friendly party list.
The point of the parties in my house were never like we never really wanted a creepy party or like where we were trying to pick up anybody. Like it was always just we wanted to get loud, get really drunk, and just have a great time. That was it. Yeah, I know. Lame,
See,
right?
the only focus for my parties were it was full creep mode. Like let's
Not even hook up.
No, just creep.
Just
Yeah, that sounds terrible. I wouldn't want to be at that party.
I guess I can start it off with the first song here. Jay-Z, the Black Album was a big one at the time. Dirt Off Your Shoulder was the big party jam for us. This was a thing that we had 7-bedroom house.
Wow.
It was an old like barn that had been converted, and
That sounds like college living, baby.
Hell, I was living with I think it was 3 saxophone players, a drummer, 3 saxophone players, 2 drummers, and a tuba player and a vocal major.
So you're telling me you missed an opportunity to have your parties be just an actual concert?
Oh, that's something they did.
Like the Partridge Family.
God damn it.
It wasn't just the guys from the house. They were actually the saxophone players were a part of a 8-piece band that was called B. Arthur. And B. Arthur had gotten a decent following in Buffalo. Yes, they were named after the Golden Girl. Dorothy.
I thought it was Benedict Arthur.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I thought they were a bunch of traitors.
That's Benedict Arnold, dude.
But they did play, like they had their band set up in our living room for one of the parties and did play a set because the living room was big enough. So stuff like Dirt Off Your Shoulder, we kind of converted that living room into what was sort of like a club. It was very odd. It was a living room dance floor, and it was pretty much the entire living room.
I think this song definitely fits that vibe, though, for sure. Like
Yeah.
the club kind of vibe, right?
Yeah, and this was my first. I mean, your first college party has got to be the first time you're trying to put playlists together for other people.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really big on Jay-Z then. It was to me more about just making sure that we were getting the club atmosphere that we wanted, which still to me is hysterical considering the fact that I was not really into having the party at the time.
Yeah,
didn't
I
want
was
it.
going to ask, like, what's it like hosting a party where you're not doing anything?
Well, for a while I was
Except for
kind
butt
of like
stuff.
Yeah,
I was
for sure.
Yeah, I mean I do that, and then I would
Thank you, Kyle.
just kind of hang out. But after we had a few different parties, and it was like this was at the end. I was 22, so I was at a point where it was like, are you gonna drink or not? And I actually started to towards the end, and then pretty much kept the duty of the playlist thing. But at that point, I was having more fun at the party.
So in kind of a similar arc, but not quite the same. I actually didn't really start drinking till I was a sophomore in college. Like even high school, I didn't really do anything. And then really started pushing those limits end of sophomore year. And then, which obviously not advocating for underage drinking. Who would do that? But anyway, we didn't start hosting parties until we were juniors. And I say we, I mean all the people I met. We all lived on the same floor in a dorm at Ithaca College, and we all moved in together in one house. So it was a bunch of apartments, 3 apartments all on top of each other. We held the middle one with 5 people, and then the bottom one with 3. So there's 8 of us. And the bottom one was where we had all the parties because it was like one big room. Essentially, it was just one huge long room, like common room.
Right.
And there were 3 bedrooms off of it, and that was it. And we loved it because this was just by pure luck, but the parties we could get as loud as we wanted because we figured out after the first one, we were in this like golden zone where we were off campus just enough where like campus police wouldn't do anything. And because we're like,
Yeah.
that's not our problem. And we were
Yep.
too far up the hill.
Same.
We were too
Yep.
far up the hill for any of the actual village cops to do anything. So
Mm-hmm.
we just, no one cared, and we could do whatever the hell we wanted. It was great.
Yep.
So the first party we hosted was actually, like, we hosted was actually a surprise party for me. It was my 21st birthday party, and they fucking got me. Like, really, I had no idea they were going to do it. So it was amazing. This was in about, my birthday's in November. So it was November of 2014. And that is the month that Uptown Funk came out. And so the first song that was playing, I really distinctly remember, was Uptown Funk.
This Uptown Funk is something that, as we continue to do this show, is going to be like coming up over and over and over. I know it.
Like, the reason I had to put it on there, just for me, is because when we said it wasn't songs for hosting a party, it was songs for the first college party you had. In college, to me, every like year had like a different song associated with it, and junior year was very strongly associated with Uptown Funk. Anytime I went to the bars, anytime I went to a party, this song was playing. And I mean, I've heard it a million times now, so it doesn't quite do it for me anymore. But I tell you, man, when it came out, I was all in, and I fucking loved this song when it came out.
Yeah, it took me a while to warm up to it, and I'm still not totally. I'm still kind of like cool.
You're on Team 24 Karat Magic, right?
Yeah, it's way better song to me.
Fair enough. You're allowed to
me,
have that
to me,
opinion. Yeah,
to me.
I know. But like Uptown Funk at this point is literally, I think we can say, one of the most popular songs of all time at this point, right?
I think it hits a lot of different generations, though, too. I think that's why it's kind of transcended.
Yeah,
yeah, it's wedding music now.
it is.
And
100%.
was then.
It is.
And was
It's-
then.
Yep, it is.
65-year-old women will dance to it,
Yep.
and 5-year-old babies will dance to it, and everyone in between. So
Do you think they knew, like, that Mark Ronson and Bruno, they knew that when they made it? Did they know it was going to be a transcendent piece like that?
probably can't imagine the degree that it has
Right.
risen to, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that Mark Ronson knew he had something.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he's been producing like that for a long time.
Right, he knows what he's doing.
So yeah, like, I mean, it does seem to have become more influential than Rehab did for Amy Winehouse, that's a pretty high bar.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I feel like he's just kind of, it's become common for him now. He's just like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be a major masterpiece, but I know what I'm doing. So
Absolutely. Yep. So that was the first song came to mind because it captured that moment in time for me. Is like that song was playing everywhere at the time.
right. Kyle.
Well, we kind of went over this on our last episode, but I was only in college for a short period of time, and
In Georgia.
never
Georgia.
in Georgia.
Oh no, it was
I went to-
Alabama. That's right. It was Alabama.
Right. It was Alabama.
Yeah, it was Alabama.
I spent one semester at a liberal arts school in Syracuse, and I'll just say when I was in high school, I went to a very country bumpkin high school, a bunch of kids wearing camo and literally still had horse shit all over their boots walking into class. You know, it was awesome. So when I was staying home essentially for college, but I had to somehow escape from that. So I befriended a group of individuals who are all from New York City, and they're from the Bronx. Totally different lifestyle from what I was used to. But we connected on a lot of things, and music being the one thing that really created a lot of connections for me with that group. And I was only 18. I was still living in campus housing in Nelligan Hall at Lemoyne. And but my friends, they had cousins who were older, and they had a townhouse that we would have the parties in. And one time I got to DJ, so my reference to most of all of this is through that one party where I got to DJ. So the first song is also reminiscent of the time, and this kind of gives a little bit of a taste of the difference between, I think, Kevin's parties and mine. It'd be Kanye West's Mercy. An absolute
Yeah,
banger.
and absolutely filthy as well. So
Yep.
like, well, I mean, we have just kind of scratched the surface on this list, and I think we'll just let the listeners hear what Kevin's going to be having coming up to compare to that sort of thing.
I know.
But great song, Kyle. I was a big fan of that one when it came out too.
Yeah, it came out in 2012. which actually I looked up and I was surprised about. I thought it came out in 2013, but it came out in early 2012 actually. But I feel like it was just in that time period where there's a lot of collab songs coming out.
This was at a
With
lot of parties.
artists,
Dude, this
with
was
a
at a
lot of
ton of
raps.
parties I was in. Ton of parties played this song, like all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of those rapper
Bars,
collabs with
yeah.
ASAP Mob and
Yep.
Good Music and stuff that were all collabing and then just coming out with bangers. And
Well,
this
because
is-
that
this is
was
definitely one
from
of them.
that Good Music album, wasn't it? What was it called? Wasn't that Cruel Summer?
Was it on that? I know it was released as a single.
I think it was the first one to come from that. And that explains why, because I think Cruel Summer may have come out the following year, which would explain why.
Yeah, it
came
was
on-
the lead
yeah.
single from Cruel Summer.
Yeah, yeah. All right, thanks for looking that up.
We're both right.
Hooray.
Everybody wins.
Except for me, because I got one question wrong earlier. Still not over that. I'm bothered.
You're only batting 500, sucker.
I'm bothered.
Okay, so so I guess that's back over to me then, huh, for the next pick. All right, well, this keeps with there's a real theme in mine. And this one is Faboulous' Breathe, which isn't really something that I have a hard time listening to it now.
Really?
Yeah, and it's
Story time.
Story
It's
time.
it's not a story time. This is
Boo.
pretentious bullshit is what this is.
Oh, boo.
It's another one of those songs that I feel like sounds like garbage on good equipment, but because it sounds good on crappy equipment because of the way that it was produced, it's just something that bothers my ears. But it's got a lot of distortion in the kick drum and everything, and I wasn't
It's got that
into it.
mixtape sound.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was probably on every party playlist I had for probably like 2 years. So that was a big one for me. Now, no real story behind it.
I actually don't know this Fabolous song.
Really?
Yeah.
I
haven't dug too deep into older Fabolous, but
Well, I'm gonna have to in a minute check on this and see where it came from for me, because I have a feeling it may have been in one of the video games I was playing at the time as well. So. All right, well, that was my pick. So then back over to Kyle or over to Kevin first.
Over
Kevin
to me. Okay, so this one is I know I'm gonna get some flack for it, and I'm a-okay with it. I am a-okay with it. James, just fucking play it.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play.
Okay, all right. So this was at my 21st birthday party. It was about halfway through the party. It was probably like, I would say 11, not even midnight yet, right? And like, we're all having a good time. Like people are dancing. We're everything is going well. And I remember I had nothing. Obviously, it was a surprise party for me, so I didn't know what music was going to get played. And all of a sudden, this song comes on. I just hear in the background like somebody wants to. And I was like, what? Why is this song playing? And I remember I looked across the room. The person who had made the music, I believe was it was either my friend Sean or Duncan or both. One of them made the playlist, and I remember they were just laughing. And I was like, I just kind of made a question. I was like, why is this playing right now? And they kind of gave a look that to me looked like, just wait, you'll see. And I look around and I saw every white, like 19 to 20 to 21-year-old around me start screaming the lyrics to this song because they all knew it. You know what I mean? Like, that was why I picked this song. It's a little bit of a mix-up, but like, it doesn't feel like people are dancing to this song. It's because they're not. It's because this is a song when you get white people drunk, they're gonna fucking start screaming this.
Yeah, I the age difference between us, every time I hear this song, it makes me just think of like the corny people that liked it when it came out.
Makes
But
me think of
that's
Shrek,
because-
unfortunately.
Well, I was a teenager and you guys were kids.
Yep.
So like, I wore
that VHS test. I wore that VHS tape out, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So like you guys have a very different view of that song from me. So every time it happens, I know what you're talking about, the phenomenon. I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
You guys start screaming the lyrics and I just shake my head.
Yep. So like if you think that's a bad song, you are correct. But if you also think it's a great song for a party, you're also correct.
Yeah, it's super catchy. It just for me, it feels like a kid's song even today.
It is.
So,
It's a fucking kid song. But like that was what it was like in college at a party. It was like you're in this weird zone when you're like, am I a kid or not? You know what I mean? Like I can drink now, but I also want to remember what it was like to be a kid, and like it's kind of like a weird blend of those things.
just a bunch of drunk infants.
Pretty much. I mean, when you're up there at that level, you're basically a baby.
So then I guess this goes over to Kyle, and I got real questions about this song. So tell us about it.
I haven't looked at the list.
Well,
I'm excited.
If there's a single song that is out of all of these songs that we're creating or we're coming up with today, if there's one song that isn't representative of a bunch of 18, 19-year-old white girls screaming,
Oh boy.
because they hear it come on, this is the song. Most white people do not know this song. I'll just say this now.
No.
It's Mr. Vegas's "Bruk It Down."
So in my research,
I do not know this song at all.
there's a lot of twerking involved.
Yeah, there's a specific dance. There's a few dances, I'm sure, but one that I remember seeing for the first time at these parties. That is definitely not of the same essence that Kevin's parties were geared towards,
no.
where people
Different
may have felt like kids still, or they still wanted to feel kid-like or innocent. This was absent of all of that. This was very much, we're going to Bruk it down. And if you don't know what Bruk it down means, Google it. Not
Or
safe
don't,
for work,
or
but most
don't,
people
or
are working
don't.
from home right now. So,
Yeah, don't
hey.
use your work account. Check the little corner to see if you're on your work account first.
But Mr. Vegas, if anyone, I mean, he's a pretty common reggaeton artist who has that dance hall vibe going. And if you're looking for anything like that, he's your guy for the party scene. Are any of you familiar with Mr. Vegas or any reggaeton or dance hall or anything?
Nope.
I was trying to see if I had any Mr. Vegas, and the truth is, it's just because I added it to my library for this. I
feel like he's definitely had some. No, you've never even heard of him?
Never heard of him. I never heard this song, and then seeing the video was like.
See, this is very, very
Interesting.
common. A lot of my friends at Lamar.
Oh, it had a ton of views.
Yeah, we're either Dominican or they were black and they're from the Bronx. And like I said, I grew up in a very white high school in the middle of Syracuse, New York. Like, not in the middle of, a little bit east.
You're a little adjacent to.
Yeah, but just not at all the same vibe from what I was used to. And I remember the first time the song played at a party, I was like, what is this? And it was just like I had found the golden ticket to what life was. And
do you still listen to it?
From time to time. Well, interestingly enough, Megan actually knew about this song, so
That
it'll come up on like
that
if
does
we're
not
about to go out
surprise
to
me
the
at all.
bars or something, then sometimes it'll come on just as like a pre-game little thing. Just as a
I
joke.
think she may have done that here.
Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise
There's
me
a very
at all.
good chance I've played this before around you.
Yeah, but
But-
I have a weird vague memory that she put it on.
It's a good possibility.
So maybe I have heard it before. Either way, at that time I must have been like, what the hell?
Yeah, oh no.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of songs that make you uncomfortable, I guess Kyle was just getting people to twerk, and then things were slowing down over on my end there, because we were getting into some slow jams. It was. I look at this and I'm like, this is kind of a golden time for hip hop. If you got that sort of thing that was coming out, because that was early Kanye, that was Black Album with Jay-Z. There's a lot of garbage rap at the time, but I got some good memories of that music.
It's a great album.
What point in the party
It's late
would this start
registration,
playing?
right?
That would be playing probably after I lost at the beer pong table.
Aha.
Which was usually pretty quickly, and I wasn't really, because I wasn't drinking at the beginning of that. I would end up getting pulled in to play as someone's partner usually it was the kind of thing where like there was a guy and his girlfriend, and the girlfriend was hammered and wanted to go home, and he didn't want to, and they kind of started arguing. So then he needed a new partner, but there wasn't really any partners because there was people that had just been leaving because it was late and everything. And then I'm hanging around still, and all right, I'll play a game, and then all right, I'm done with this. Play on the slower music. Get everybody out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. So wait, was this your last call or no?
No, but I've always had
the wind down, maybe the wind down.
Yeah, and you guys, having heard some of the things that I would play, may have noticed that like end of the night or end of set, whatever, I would start throwing in things that were maybe would tire you out. So like. You could get like maybe one last jam out of them, where you got them calmed down, and then you hit them with something big, and then that's the end, and you leave them wanting more. That was always my plan. So,
Kyle, you had a question. I cut you off. What were you asking, James?
Oh no, I was just wondering. Is this off of Late Registration or College Dropout?
It was on College Dropout, but it was also on. I think it was on Jamie Foxx's album.
Jamie Foxx, man, what a career he could have had.
What do you mean could have had? He had some big time hits.
100%. No, he definitely did. His acting is great, but I feel like he really could have pursued a musical career more fervently.
This is my opinion. I don't know, but I have a feeling that it was, when you compare doing music to acting, you're going to have to do more of the work if you're doing the music. If you're acting, you're going to get directed. You may have to be doing your lines and your scene over and over, whatever, but you're not tapped for creating something or really like,
that's true,
putting it together.
That's true.
So
but whenever he's filled in for something, it's always been like, wow, dude's just super talented. It's impressive.
It seems like acting is the thing that the multi-talented celebrities end up settling on and then just kind of moving into.
Justin Timberlake maybe being I guess he's never really had a full-time acting
No, but he's
like
been
SNL's
doing more and more
cameos.
voice acting.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
But all right. Well, anyways, moving to Kevin again.
Welcome back to the Good Boy Party. We're having a great time with our spritzers and our non-alcoholic. No. Okay, so at this point,
Wine coolers.
Yeah, wine coolers, baby. No, at this point, like things were going great in the night. It was about midnight, I would say, and everyone's getting pretty swifty. But this song I actually got from a friend of mine, one of my roommates, Sam. Sam gave me this song. It is a song from Robin, Dancing on My Own.
I was surprised to see this one in your list because I didn't expect to see Robin on any of our lists ever.
I love this song. I'm not a Robin aficionado. Like, I've never done a deep dive, but this song, like, it does make me want to fucking dance. Like, it's a really good jam. Specifically, the one I'm referring to is the radio cut I like the best. I think the other cuts like have some weirdness to them that I forget about. But I just remember that like the one in my Spotify library I specifically put in is the radio cut.
Okay. But, now, is the one that was just played different from the one
that was
you're
it.
listening to on Spotify?
That was it.
Okay.
That was it.
All right.
I believe it was like 4 minutes, like 4-ish minutes, something like that. That was the one. So
I'm totally unfamiliar, but it sounds like a song that would be in a Lizzie McGuire movie.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah. Or Legally Blonde.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Or Skater Boy,
Oh.
the movie.
The movie. Yeah, but I think it's a great song. I really, really do. I love it.
Yeah, it's got a nice happy feel to it. I don't know if it's a happy song, but it felt like it was happy.
No, it's a pretty miserable song actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of miserable, Kyle, what's your next one?
Well, when you're real miserable, you could say you have fucking problems.
Bad bitches, that's my fucking problem. And yeah, I like the fuck, I got a fucking problem.
Thanks.
Segue. That was
yeah. This is the same vein that rap collab, just at its peak. With ASAP Rocky, ASAP Rocky, Drake, Kendrick, and 2 Chainz. I feel like that was just like that. Those are 4 of the biggest names in rap in that time period, and they all came together, had a sick collab, and yeah, you could definitely jam to it. It wasn't a necessarily get up and dance song, but it was
Well,
it was a song that you could play at a party with no issue.
you've hit 2 of your 3 here. Mercy and then that one have been 2 songs that were anthems. You guys are familiar with my patterns of like, if we were going out to grab a beer, I would be putting on like a specific song right before leaving. Typically, I have like a few that I go to right before heading out, like a last minute hype thing. And back when I was such a regular at what was McGregor's at the time, that the bouncers, would just wave us in even on a holiday when there was a line. That was that time period for me. So those songs make me think of that stuff, which was a lot of fun, but probably still creepy.
Oh yeah, still creepy party for sure.
Creepy party.
Still creepy.
Welcome to Kyle's creepy party.
Although I think I would be more creeped out if I were to walk into a party and hear Robin playing. I think I would have been a little bit more like, is this the place we want to stay?
Well,
you can go fuck yourself. First of all,
I think that Kevin's already taken care of it because it's not what he was going for anyway.
That's not the party that you want to be at, man.
Right. Anybody that's going to respond that way isn't coming to that party.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Nope.
Dude, I would like the parties that you like. So your playlist so far that like I mean this in the best way possible. Describe like a normal college party to me, if that makes sense. Like if I went to, like if someone says come over to my apartment and like or my house like during when I was in college and like I didn't really know them, I would assume shit like that was playing. And that's a good
I still
thing
feel like I'm toning it down, honestly, though. These parties
that's
I
why.
wouldn't
That's
constitute as being a normal college party. I think if you were to walk in there, there's no questions asked. Your eyebrows would have been raised so high it would have been receding your hairline.
Well, they're probably dancing to Bruk It Down, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of playing the song is the dancing portion. So to say it's necessarily your average college party, I get what you're saying.
Just
like I've been to a million
that
parties
song
and those exact
specifically,
songs
no.
are playing. Yeah,
Rock It Down.
No, and like
But the other two, 100%. Mercy and Fucking Problems were very indicative of that time period.
But like Rock It Down,
classic
like
college party.
But like the way Jamz described it earlier, the amount of times I was at a party before the party, like in the pregame, and there were always a bunch of girls that were like playing whatever on the screen, and songs like that would start playing, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I've never seen this before. Just because of where I grew up, I'm from a suburb outside of Syracuse. I never saw that shit, man.
No culture, yeah.
Nope. I love mayonnaise, baby.
Just hooping at the dome.
I'm just hooping at the dome. I'm wearing a shirt that I got not for being at a Syracuse basketball game, for working at a Syracuse basketball game. I'm from upstate New York, baby.
I'm going to use that as a transition. Hooping at the Dome. The song's Balla, Baby.
Yeah, it is.
Chingy, and I'd like to know where Chingy is today.
Yeah, what happened?
He's not dead.
So many hits, and then just faded out.
And someone who had super charismatic, smooth delivery that I would compare to someone like Mace from Bad Boy
I know where he
fame.
is. He's chilling at the Holiday Inn, bro.
Oh.
And he can't get up because of them jeans. So he hasn't been able to leave.
Wait. I don't think the issue was him putting the jeans on.
Oh, that wasn't about his tight jeans?
No, not about his.
Totally. Oh, totally misunderstood that song. Maybe it's because I was like 7 when it came out.
So what's funny is that song, Kyle, was on last episode. We were talking about how I quit Old Navy to go sledding. The Dem Jeans was a regular on the Old Navy playlist during that time.
Wow, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, it was.
Song all about a
weird.
woman trying to get jeans on that she can't.
Yep. There was a lot of weird things that were being played back then. They were doing a lot of hip hop in Old Navy at the time. Okay, well, that's all. Chingy, that's my thing. Chingy was somebody that I liked, and he disappeared. And Right There was really good, but this one ended up being my favorite. Holiday obviously I like that, but this was my favorite Chingy song. So Balla Baby was a regular on my college party playlist. So back over to Kevin.
All right, last one is actually kind of a swing back to the same kind of vibe that was being that was going for with All Star. So the end of the party was about 1 a.m. and like this was one of the last songs being played was Mr. Brightside by the Killers. You know, like the way I'm going to describe it is like if All-Star, if we're talking in terms of like Pokemon, this is the song All-Star would evolve into in terms of like getting white drunk college kids to just fucking scream at the top of their lungs, man.
How did that happen?
I
though?
don't know. I never heard this song for the long, like, no, okay, I take it back. I heard this song on like the radio growing up, but I had no idea that it was such a song that everyone knew all the words to. You know what I mean?
I didn't know until it was 2 years ago that we had some fun with the jukebox on an October evening.
Oh yeah, that was a good time.
That was a good time. It was that night that I realized how many of the songs like this one you guys knew all the words to, and I was very confused.
I understand that because like, why this song? Why? Like, why?
I listened to it a ton when it came out, but I wasn't fanatical about it. So it was just a shock to me. Like, when did this become such a big deal?
Right.
I think it's
so
just
like,
got that like classic punk angst.
it does. It's
kinda
like it's intro to angst.
But you can
Yeah.
you can
Angst
smile while you're
Angst
yelling
101.
the lyrics.
Absolutely. And like, you know, the people yelling the song at this party. I mean, like I went to Ithaca College. I was around a lot of rich kids, and like I was like, what problems do you actually have? You know, like what are you that you need to be this angsty? But like that's just how it goes, man. Like
Too
you
many
know.
hills.
Too many. Hey, I still have my giant calves from when I lived in Ithaca, man.
I think I was only ever out there twice.
It's a good place, man. It's my favorite place on earth.
Gorgeous.
I think twice.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, beautiful. I wish I had spent more time there, but maybe when we're allowed to go back outside.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. So, Mr.
That's the
Brightside.
that's the vibe we always went for with the party. Is like we just wanted to get people amped and like dancing and screaming and just yelling as loud as you can. You know, that's just kind of what we wanted to go for. It was a different vibe, but that's what we went.
Very cool. All right, Kyle, last one.
Well, in the vein of creepy, this one hits the tracks. It's
Now,
"Pop That Pussy" by French Montana.
you could have
Nailed
just said
it.
pop that. You
Okay.
really could have just said pop that.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is "Pop That." I guess that would make more sense. Whoops.
Kyle, sticking the landing here. Sticking the landing.
Features Rick Ross, Drake, and Lil Wayne, which I just noticed now I have, two Chainz. 4 Chains.
Yeah, 4 chains.
in
Whether you
my
add them or
features.
multiply, that's 4 chains, baby.
It is. And unfortunately, I also have 2 Drake features on my out of my 4 selection. I don't know why.
Let the record show. Let the record show that Kyle picked a song with Drake on it.
Today is
But
the
believe it
day.
or not, even with French Montana, Rick Ross, and Lil Wayne, Drake still has the worst verse. I don't know how that happened, but
I
maybe it's
can't
because
say
he sucks.
I didn't like the song.
No, I
so
don't like the
know
song
verse.
either. Don't get me wrong. I hate the song, but I feel like it was in every college party I went to.
Yeah.
Including
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
a senior in high school.
No, I heard this at a
I had
party.
older
I
friends,
definitely
so
did. Yep.
from like 2011, 2015, I feel like I heard it at every party I went to. It
Sure.
was just that song.
Yep.
It was a club thing.
What do you
I
think's
remember
at
that.
What do you think's at parties now? Would we know?
Let's see what
It's just a lot of the EDM stuff, ain't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Kygo. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Kygo.
I don't even know who's popular in EDM anymore.
Well, but that's exactly my point. Is that like, it's whatever is out in the moment. A lot of times, just a bullshit remix. I don't know. It's not like I've been to a college party in a long time. But,
Same here.
We should do some investigations.
Yeah, no, we got to go undercover on this one.
Mm-hmm.
You want to we should put mustaches on over our mustaches.
Yeah, that'll work. But different
Done it
colors.
before.
But different colors. I'll wear a blonde mustache. No one will notice. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, then that was songs from our first college parties. If you have any that you feel like don't belong on this list, or things that you feel like we should have added, either from the time periods that you were picking up on from how we were speaking, or from your own experience, well, you should hit us up on social media. Kyle, tell them how.
Well,
Tell
I guess
'em
we
how.
decided. I guess we decided that we're only on Instagram now, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the only one we're checking. I know that much.
And posting. So
We have a Facebook?
it's the
I-
only active one.
Facebook is a wasteland.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Facebook
it's a
is
garbage heap,
wasteland.
just like Long Island. So
Hot takes. Spicy.
so you can follow us, Long Island, at Instagram or on Instagram at 3D
No,
Podcast.
you can't take that back. You can't take that. We just lost an
don't-
entire chunk of our audience. All those listeners on Long
Let us know what
Island.
you think about us, Long Island, at 3D Podcast, all spelled out. Get at us, send us all your hate DMs.
Yeah,
they're
give us a hate
open,
listen.
ready to fire back at you
Yeah, give
with
it a
some
hate
tasty
listen.
heat.
Yep.
Yeah, and we're going to take a little break, but we're going to be back in a minute with some picks of the week for you to check out while you're sitting at home on your Spotify or your Apple Music or whatever you're using. But I'll tell you before we go to break that I am officially a Spotify convert because my whole Apple Music system of aggregating playlists based on the number of plays has been thrown out the window.
Oh, no.
Given the fact that I can't drive my car anywhere really.
Oh, no.
So I'm not tracking anything, and Spotify is just better at giving me suggestions. So
100%. Welcome to
Is what it
welcome to
is.
the squad. I didn't even
Yep.
pick up on that earlier when you were asking me about the daily mixes.
yeah,
But-
I've been using it a ton, but I'm still using the free version. I'm gonna switch over to premium as soon as I take the time to figure out how to actually cancel Apple Music, because the way you're supposed to do it by subscriptions in the
It's
iPhone.
so difficult. They make it next to impossible to cancel that subscription.
Yeah,
It's-
they made it look
it's
like they had an
awful.
easy way, and I
It's like, ha,
don't know
gotcha.
what's going on. Yeah. So all right. Well, our picks after the break. I need an update on the launch.
What launch? Oh, the launch. Oh, crap.
Let me check the computers.
Beep, boop, 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 beep, boop, boop.
All right. I have a
Gentlemen.
bearing. I have a heading.
Gentlemen, I need the space coordinates of that stove.
There's at least a 1 in there somewhere.
I got a 2. I got a 37.
I'm sorry. We were just
and it's
reading.
heading that way.
We were reading the numbers off our fortune cookies. I'm sorry.
We didn't listen. We messed up.
Yeah, we messed up.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir. You want to have a barbecue? It's the only way we're gonna make this right.
It'll bring us all together
And how are we gonna cook all this stuff in this amount of time?
with Paul's rocket stoves.
They're really fast.
How fast?
What would you say, Brendan? How could you say it?
I think the phrase we're looking for is "Go fast, eat fast." Paul's rocket stoves.
.com.
Paul's Rocket Stoves are handmade outdoor cooking appliances that run on renewable biofuel. For more details and ordering information, visit paulsrocketstoves.com.
You want to use chemicals to turn me into a humanoid, like those other kids?
And back here we are with our picks for the week. If you are sitting at home, we've got suggestions for you of what you can add to your playlist. Now, we're not together, all three of us, the same person listening to the same kind of music. So hopefully there's a flavor for everyone between the three of us. One of us should stick out for you as something you might enjoy jamming to. So, Kyle, what do you got for us this time?
Well, I'll be honest with you. During this quarantine, the weather in Southern California has not been actually all that prime. It's been a little rainy, really windy, low 60s. It's a real bummer. It's the worst.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds just terrible.
So, like most people from New York, I cannot wait for summer. And you could say I'm going through a little summer madness.
Ooh. That's smooth.
It's that Cool in the Gang, baby.
Ooh.
All right, so Cool in the Gang, Summer Madness, a lot of people would know it better for being the sample that Will Smith and I think is Jeffrey Towns was his name. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Summertime.
That song just went in my library. I like that a lot, man.
Very funky, yeah. But it's also got that nice synth sound. I'm big into it.
I like Cool in the Gang a lot. I've recently realized like a bunch of songs that I've always known and really loved are by them. But I haven't done a deep dive yet. I need to, like, once in a while I pick an artist and just like go through everything. I haven't done that with Cool in the Gang, so I really have to. That's a good one, man.
Mine's a little bit newer, but still not new at all. It's the kind of thing I can just be super mellow with, and I'm sure anybody else would be able to do the same. It's Ghost Ship by Blur. And I don't listen to Blur, I am familiar with the lead singer being also the front man for the Gorillaz. I get that. I love the Gorillaz. But wasn't really big into Blur's music. And then this came on one day. And I'm sorry, that's a summer jam too.
Wait, I have a
yeah.
question. Is this the same Blur that does Song 2?
Yes. Yeah, that's why I was surprised. You've got Blur, Song 2 with the woohoo and super hard guitar.
Yeah.
and
That's crazy.
then that. Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Well, when
Although
you think about
it is still in that chill vibe. That
When you
summertime
think about it, though,
chillness.
the Gorillaz do that too. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's just his range. I think that's what he likes to do.
Yeah, that's very true. Did you hear the Gorillaz actually did a live stream during this quarantine? I'm pretty sure. But they had their faces covered still. Pretty interesting.
You know, it would be really cool
I
to
didn't check a video out or anything, but heard about it.
if the concept of something like the Gorillaz was expanded more so that other bands were doing like animated videos. I imagine they could do live performances, from their own places, mix it together, and then just throw an animated thing over it. And I think that'd be really good entertainment for everybody right now.
You're talking about... Oh, okay, yeah, you're talking
Instead of what they're doing where you get a musician playing in their living room.
Yeah, and I think you could even sell that post-quarantine. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's like a YouTube premium option there.
Or, I mean, you could sell it even as like a pay-per-view thing, like $10. And it's like a
Do
concert
it once
for the
a month
night.
or something. Yeah, it'd be.
Yeah.
I'd pay to see that. Grills are dope.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, I don't know. Combining mediums there is all. Kevin.
All right. I mean, you kind of mentioned it earlier when we were chatting, but like all of ours kind of fit the same vibe this time. And I think that's really interesting. I wanted a song that kind of was like a come down after a party. So this song is called Another Weekend by Ariel Pink.
Now, can you tell us a little bit more about Ariel Pink? Because I feel like that's a very, very big name, and I don't really know anything about them.
So here's the thing. This was, as a new Spotify convert, James, you'll find this happens to you a lot, where I love this song because it came on a Spotify recommended playlist, but I don't know that much about Ariel Pink. I have the page open in front of me here. He's just been around for a long time, since the late 2000s. He does a lot of sampling of 70s and 80s pop. So he's a lo-fi artist, but like makes some really cool stuff with that. So I can't wait to listen to the rest of his stuff. But I remember I looked up a review of this song. I love this song because, like Kyle said, it's got that just summer, like a Sunday afternoon in the summer, like you might be hungover, who knows, after a party. But it's got this vibe of like, well, that weekend's gone. Can't wait till the next one. Like that's what the whole theme of the song
Like
is.
windows down cruising music. That's almost my favorite type of music.
Yeah, man. And it's got like two distinct sections where the intro is kind of like just a real simple like bass line and just real chill, and then it goes to that kind of halftime thing that you were playing. So there's like two distinct sections that come back and forth. So it's a really good song for that. But I wish I had more for you on Ariel Pink, but apparently he's got a big following, so I might have to join them.
It is a name I've heard before,
Sure.
but I think that was my first taste of the actual material.
Well, like I said, what I was going to say earlier is the review I saw of this song, because I was so interested in it because I loved it so much, is apparently this is pretty atypical for him. He doesn't do like slower stuff like this. Like it might be more upbeat. So that was just a little blurb in one review I saw for this song, is that this is not typically of like what he puts out.
That's kind of a
Right.
bummer with Spotify sometimes. Is that you find like a new artist you think you're going to be super excited about because of one song that you found from them, and you love that song. And you go to search out the rest of their stuff, and it's like,
That's happened to me at least a solid
not
handful of
feeling
times.
it. It's
for
kind of
sure.
disappointing.
Yeah.
But at least you still have that song. But
Yep.
there's been quite a few times Spotify's.
I think
kinda
that's the
done me
nature of the
dirty
beast, man.
almost.
I think it's the nature of
Yeah.
the beast. There's a lot of songs out there you're not going to like.
Oh, yeah.
Really blue ball you with those artists.
Yep.
All right. Well, on that note, we are going to get out of here. It's been another excellent playlist here. Hit the social media one more time for us, Kyle. I got some other things I want to bring up, but do that first.
All right, Instagram, all spelled out, 3 Deep Podcast. Get at us there. DM us. We'll take business inquiries. We'll take social inquiries. We'll take,
All
I
right.
was going to say butt
Gifts.
stuff inquiries,
We'll take
but
gifts.
probably shouldn't say that. So,
All right, well, thank you to Sugar Free Beats. Follow them on Instagram and SoundCloud. Thank you to Root for allowing us to use their music. And check us out. We've got some things that we're working on YouTube as well. So you can check out weare3deep.com. I believe will still be available for how to get to that. We'll talk to you soon.
Rochester, how you feeling? All right, we need everybody to take 3 giant steps forward. So long I can't even recall what the world looked like in my early days. I spent my youth trying to find something permanent, but the only constant has been change. So if you leave, don't let it get you down. Love is heavy and I will always be around. Oh, but for now, I got the energy to see this through. So you tired, take a rest, child, and I'll carry the burden for a while. Got the energy to see this through. So if I'm tired, baby, just smile, and I'll forget the troubles for a while. I've taken wounds with scars, patience who could never know. The root of my strength has been love alone. This life has taught me much more than any teacher could. These steps I'm sure lead to home. So if you leave, don't let it get you down. Love is heavy and I will always be around. Oh, but for now, got the energy to see this through. So if you're tired, take a rest, child, and I'll carry the burden for a while. Got the energy to see this through. So if I'm tired, baby, just smile.